Welcome to Coast Guard Training Center, Cape May. My name is Commander Young, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies for today's recruit graduation. Nestled between the Atlantic Ocean and Cape May Harbor, Training Center Cape May opened on May 31st, 1948. In the 1960s, 3 500-person recruit barracks were constructed and named after Coast Guard heroes. Signalman First Class Douglas Monroe, the Coast Guard's only Medal of Honor recipient, Captain Joshua James, one of the most celebrated lifesavers in the world, and Captain Michael Healy, a legend along Alaska's 20,000-mile coastline. The 1970s marked the start of mixed gender recruit training, and in the 90s, the Training Center's first recruit process building was built and dedicated to Petty Officer First Class Charles W. Sexton, a shipmate who sacrificed his life while attempting to save the lives of 4 people aboard a sinking fishing vessel. Thank you for joining us today, and welcome to the graduation ceremony for Recruit Company Juliet 196. Please rise for the arrival of the official party. The official party consists of Master Chief Pace, Command Master Chief, Training Center, Cape May. Master Chief Brown, Company Mentor. Commander Krautler, Executive Officer, Training Center, Cape May. Captain Gibbons, Commanding Officer, Training Center, Cape May.
Hands salute. pt2.
Thank you. Please be seated. The drill team in Color Guard consists of recruits selected by the ceremonial drill master to perform at a high level and can learn the complicated piece movements in addition to basic training. The drill team carries demilitarized 1903 rifles and executes all commands without verbal command. So please hold your applause until the end of the routine. The drill team and Color Guard are trained and supervised by Petty Officer Allen. Ladies and gentlemen, the Recruit Precision Drill Team. Each Coast Guardsman understands the importance of our organization and has recited our Coast Guard ethos on a daily basis. The Coast Guard ethos was derived from the Coast Guard's capstone doctrine, Pub 1, and commits our newest members to the Coast Guard's character, culture, and core values of honor, respect, and devotion to duty. The Coast Guard ethos provides the framework to develop a morally, mentally, and physically fit, more capable apprentice ready to meet the mission execution requirements of an ever-changing Coast Guard. Today, Training Center Cape May is the 5th largest Coast Guard base and sole accession point for the entire enlisted workforce. More than 4,200 of America's finest young men and women arrive each year for the first chapter of their Coast Guard career. Our men and women provide the highest level of support to our 12 tenant commands, which include operational and support units. We are guided by the principles of readiness, relevance, and responsiveness. Please turn your attention to the northeast corner of the gymnasium for the arrival of Recruit Company Juliet 196. Band, sound off. The lead company commander for Juliet 196 is Chief Petty Officer Orlowitz. The assistant company commanders are Chief Petty Officer Vanderjagt, Chief Petty Officer Poland, and Petty Officer Grant. Please stand for the presentation of colors and the playing of our national anthem. Uniformed personnel should render the military salute. Members and veterans of the armed forces not in uniform may also render the military salute. All of those present should face the flag at attention, remove your hat, and place your right hand over your heart. We welcome you to remain standing for the invocation. Present the colors.
forward, march. Color guard, halt.
Post the colors.
Color guard, peel, up. Color guard, post. Color guard, breeze it, arc. Color guard, order, arc. Color guard, outward, march.
The invocation will be delivered by Chaplain Whitfield.
Let us pray. Almighty God, we thank you for this occasion which we have gathered to celebrate the graduates of Recruit Company Juliet 196, who by their performance and perseverance have arrived at this momentous occasion. The weight of protecting and serving this nation is great, but you are always with those upon whom this mantle has been cast. Encourage and strengthen these graduates in the execution of their duties and responsibilities. As they embark upon new assignments, equip them with courage, confidence, and the conviction to take the risks, to endure the heartaches, and to accept the demands required of them to make our Coast Guard and our nation the highest standard for all to strive. Bless also those who stand beside them, their friends, family, and communities who support them. May their love reinforce the purpose and values they go forth to uphold. We give thanks for the company commanders, instructors, and mentors who have worked to mold them and prepare them for the duties they now go to fulfill. Lord our God, may your Spirit lead us through these proceedings as we have been so guided all the days of our lives. Amen.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present to you Captain Gibbons, who will advance the graduates, offer his remarks, and introduce the guest speaker.
Uniform personnel, attention to advancement.
Captain Gibbons, the recruits of Juliet 196 have complete training and ready to advance.
Very well, Chief. Well done. Members of Juliet Company, your basic training is now complete. It is my pleasure to officially advance you from Seaman Recruit to Seaman, Seaman Apprentice, Fireman, or Fireman Apprentice. Congratulations in your first advancement in the United States Coast Guard. Thank you. Please be seated. Distinguished guests, parents, family members, and friends of Juliet 196, welcome once again to Coast Guard Training Center, Cape May, the birthplace of our enlisted corps. Folks, it's fair to say that we are excited to have you here with us. We are proud that you could join us, and we are certainly hoping that you are proud of the group that you see assembled before you. But I've got to ask, what do you think of the future of our Coast Guard? I agree with you folks, and I'll tell you what, I know that getting you back into their arms is the number one thing that's been on their mind for months, so we're going to get right down to business. And it's been all about business with Juliet Company. When they got here, they stepped off that bus, we warned them, just like I told you in the auditorium, that this was going to be hard because we insisted that they meet each and every standard of our program in order to graduate. And they soon learned that we were not kidding, that our standards were indeed excruciating and inflexible. They struggled towards these standards even as some shipmates fell behind, often not sure if they would make it themselves. and learning to lean on each other, at first just for support, but ultimately learning to trust that each would do their part to achieve collective success. Along the way, they learned to face their own uncertainties as individuals. They learned that today's failure does not prevent tomorrow's success, and they grew not just resilient, but now confident as they saw their struggles paying off. Most importantly, they learned through experience that our legacy of success has not hinged on the exploits of strong individuals, but rather the powerful contributions of members that we form right here into unstoppable teams. And they went on to earn midterm and final exam pennants for high academic averages. They earned a seamanship pennant for proficiency in our key organizational competency. They earned a marksmanship pennant for scores in the top third of all companies we train here. And they notably earned a perfect score on their Manual of Arms assessment, ultimately earning company commander and section commander pennants as well. Ladies and gentlemen, how about letting Juliet know just how proud you are of them today? Shipmates, you are now certified members of an organization that prides itself in being ready for all threats and all hazards, protecting people from the sea, protecting the sea from people, and preventing the sea from becoming an avenue of harm for this great nation. Today, it's we that are proud of you, adding you to America's arsenal of first responders. Those who are trained, tested, and confident enough to run towards the danger that others rightfully turn away from. You weathered every storm we created here, and you showed us that you had what it takes to meet our standards. Just like the heroes whose names adorn the buildings you have lived and trained in, you too are now a part of our lineage. And like any family, we count on you to perpetuate our good name. As you depart here today, no longer recruits but now Coast Guardsmen, I want to remind you that we're counting on you to help us write that all-important next chapter in our history. That's because here at Training Center Cape May, our very claim to fame is that countless other Coast Guard men and women, more than 120,000 in the past 30 years alone, have started off right here, just like you and I did. They've gone on to be engineering petty officers, officers in charge of small boat stations, and cutters just like your mentor, Master Chief Brown, shop chiefs at units all across our service, command master chiefs advising our operational commanders and flag officer corps, and even the Master Chief Petty Officer of the Coast Guard. In each and every one of these cases, our company commanders trained us just like every other recruit through an experience that made us a part of a family, one that had its roots right here. And they taught us what it meant to grow up in the Coast Guard's hometown. Now, like every other hometown experience, Cape May has created a foundation for the many opportunities that our great organization will provide to those who are willing to answer the call. The truth is that we do not know for certain what individual challenges each of you will rise to. Nor do we know for certain the demands that our nation will place upon you as our next generation of Coast Guard men and women. But we do know exactly whom the nation will turn to in moments of distress, and that's you, the men and women that we train here each and every day. And that knowledge has inspired in us a sacred responsibility to absolutely ensure that you are in all ways ready to answer that call. Now today, on this occasion, I no longer have to wonder, and I no longer have to ask whether you are ready, because I trust the judgment of your lead company commander, Chief Orlowitz, and his assistant company commanders, Chief Vanderjack, Chief Pullen, and Petty Officer Grant, in the tremendous job that they have done together to prepare you as our graduates. Their work has been supplemented by the professionalism of your lead instructor, Chief Wolf, your lead seamanship instructor, Petty Officer Tansky, your lead yeoman, Petty Officer Bell, and your lead gym instructor, Mr. Skana. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please join me in a round of applause for the entire staff here at Training Center Cape May? Thank you. Graduates, always remember that there are two names on that uniform that you wear. And that first one is a name that you arrived with. It's your family name, and it's a name that I know you have made proud simply by making it to this day. But that second name is a name that you earned for yourself right here, as you were born into our Coast Guard like generations of Coast Guardsmen before you. The most important thing that you have learned here at Cape May is what it means to have the character expected of our Coast Guard family. Let our core values be the principles that guide your decisions. Allow your decisions to drive your actions, and let those actions perpetuate the unique service character that the American public has come to rely upon from its Coast Guard since 1790. As you go forth now, remember to honor both of those family names and to make us proud, because Cape May is your new hometown. It's our honor to celebrate you as the newest members of the nation's oldest maritime multi-mission service. It's our prayer that God will bless each and every one of you and your families and continue to bless our United States Coast Guard. Congratulations, shipmates, and Semper Paratus. Well, thanks, folks. It's now my pleasure to introduce one of the mentor team that helped out Juliet Company along the way. Master Chief Brown enlisted himself in the United States Coast Guard and attended basic training right here in 2001, graduating with Foxtrot 159. He's a graduate of the Coast Guard Chief Petty Officers Academy and the Coast Guard Senior Enlisted Leadership Course as well. His numerous operational and staff assignments have included Coast Guard Station Point Allerton, Coast Guard Cutter Walnut, Coast Guard Station Charleston, Coast Guard Cutter Dallas, Coast Guard Cutter Adak, and Master Chief Brown is currently assigned to the Coast Guard Cutter Shearwater right here in Cape May, New Jersey, where he serves as its officer in charge. Please join me in welcoming Command Master Chief Bosun Mate Eric Brown.
Thank you for the introduction, Captain. Good morning to you, Commander Crowler, Master Chief Pace, company commanders, and friends and family of Juliet 196. Good morning and congratulations, Juliet 196, and congratulations on your first advancement. The crew of Shearwater and I are truly grateful to have been your company mentors. I want to start by thanking the families and friends for the support they showed their loved ones. It was a pleasure getting to know many of you over the last couple months, and we will always be available to the families and the graduates in the future. Our experience with Juliet 196 began with our first visit at the end of week 2. We spent 4 hours answering many questions. Some of those questions were really impressive, and some of them included, how do we not get reverted if we meet Master Chief Wadley alone? To, do you sing sea shanties at sea? Tongue twister. In case you're wondering, the answer is no, we do not, but maybe you can start a new tradition out there. You could see then that Juliet 196 was very tired and maybe questioning their decision to join, but they were also motivated and ready to continue learning. We also inadvertently conducted a small experiment that day, and we learned that it only takes about 4 hours to catch the Cape May crud. 3 of us were sick for the next week and a half. Week 5 brought on the receipt of orders, and I'll let your loved ones explain the story of the bell after graduation. But all I will say about that is, Chief Orlowitz, you are a locked-in professional, and I wish I had a game face like you. In all seriousness, our Week 5 visit showed the rapid growth and laser focus that occurred for Juliet 196. They were motivated and working hard to prepare for their first duty station. And now, after seeing this company the last couple of weeks around the regiment, it's apparent that Juliet 196 is well trained and is ready to serve. Chief Orlowitz, Chief Vanderjack, Chief Pullen, and Petty Officer Grant, thank you for the privilege to be a small part of Juliet 196. The work you did to prepare this company for the service is truly amazing. Juliet 196, you earned this day. Remember the pride you feel and the sense of accomplishment you have right now. Carry it with you every day in the future. If you are here today, you know that you earned everything you got out of boot camp. From the incentive training that you earned, to the coffee in the galley, to your colors, to the graduation today, you earned this. And you earn everything that you get in the Coast Guard with the same work and dedication you showed here. Before you leave Cape May, I'd like to leave you with a few final thoughts. Always keep a good attitude. A positive attitude is so infectious to those around you. No matter what situation you are in, positive attitudes can overcome almost anything and help lift your shipmates up when they may need it the most. Second is always maintain your integrity. You may have heard this before, but integrity is one of the few things that you can only give away. It can never be taken from you. Don't ever give that away because it's hard to get back. Always be a shipmate and be there for each other. You know you didn't get through boot camp alone, and the same goes for the rest of the Coast Guard. The way we take care of our people from the top to the bottom is what makes us the greatest service in the nation, and now it's your job to be a shipmate to others. They will trust you with their lives, and you also place your lives in the hands of the shipmates around you. Be semper paratus to be there for one another. And finally, remember why you came here and use these reasons as motivation to fuel your hopefully long and successful Coast Guard career. Maybe you joined the Coast Guard for a better life. Maybe you joined to continue a tradition of family service, or maybe to start a new tradition of family service to the greatest people in the nation. Remember your commitment to the American people, your families, your shipmates, and your duty to uphold the traditions of our service, because these are just some of the reasons that we are the greatest service in the greatest nation in the world. Congratulations, Juliet 196, and welcome to the fleet, shipmates. Best of luck.
We will now have the presentation of the graduate certificates for Juliet 196. Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Milligan, the section commander for Juliet 196, will now read the names of the graduates and where they will be assigned. Please be courteous to the people behind you and remain seated during the presentation of the graduation certificates.
Seaman Thomas Corsi, Station Miami Beach, Florida. Seaman Brooke Sharkey, Station Tybee Island, Georgia. Her certificate being presented by our aunt, Lieutenant Commander Alicia Sharkey, United States Coast Guard. Seaman Brian Perez Pintado, Sector San Juan, Puerto Rico. His certificate being presented by his uncle, Robert Lamaro, FBI. Seaman Christopher Hurst, Training Center, Cape May, New Jersey. Seaman Apprentice Sarah Monroe, Station St. Petersburg, Florida. Seaman Morgan McGuire, Operations Specialist A School, Petaluma, California. Seaman Samantha Hauer, Coast Guard Cutter Mellon, Seattle, Washington. Seaman Apprentice Karen Baisley, Station Montauk, New York. Seaman Apprentice Dylan Worthington, Coast Guard Cutter Dauntless, Pensacola, Florida. His certificate is being presented by his father, Chief Boatswain Eric Worthington, United States Coast Guard, retired. Fireman Apprentice Garrett Nelson, Asian Navigation Team, Detroit, Michigan. Seaman Apprentice Austin Cup, Coast Guard Baltimore Yard. His certificate is being presented by his father, Staff Sergeant Nicholas Cup, United States Army retired. Seaman Apprentice Nathan Holt, Station Marathon, Florida. Seaman Diego Fernandez, Coast Guard Cutter Bear, Portsmouth, Virginia. Seaman Michael Carthus, Station Port Allerton, Hull, Massachusetts. His certificate is being presented by his brother, Deputy Sheriff Paul Carthus, Norfolk County Sheriff's Office. Seaman David Whitmer, Station Yankeetown, Florida. Seaman Sienna Hancock, Coast Guard Cutter Seahawk, St. Petersburg, Florida. Seaman Ryan Balamian, Station Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Seaman Apprentice Keenan Gonzalez, Asian Navigation Team, Galveston, Texas. His certificate being presented by his brother, Firefighter Nico Gonzalez, California Department of Agriculture. Seaman Tegan Lemur, Coast Guard Cutter Thetis, Key West, Florida. His certificate being presented by his grandfather, Thomas Rafter, Private First Class, United States Marine Corps. Seaman Apprentice Wyatt Ward, Station New Orleans, Metairie, Louisiana. Seaman Apprentice Zane Ramsden, Coast Guard Cutter Liberty, Aki Bay, Alaska. Seaman Apprentice Brett Petrick, Station Noyo River, Fort Bragg, California. His certificate is being presented by his father, Chief Warrant Officer James Petrick, United States Coast Guard. Fireman Apprentice Parker Ponchek, Station Houston, Texas. Seaman Ethan Ferguson, Coast Guard Cutter Hickory, Homer, Alaska. Seaman Apprentice Cole Tharp, Coast Guard Cutter Osage, Sewickley, Pennsylvania. His certificate is being presented by his father, Sergeant Charles Tharp, Indiana State Police. Fireman Dezirae Middleton, Coast Guard Cutter Manta, Freeport, Texas. Seaman Daniel Smiler, Coast Guard Cutter Razorbill, Portsmouth, Virginia. His certificate is being presented by his father, Patrolman Joel Smiler, West Pikeland Police Department. Fireman Jorge Medina, Asian Navigation Team, Puerto Rico, San Juan, Puerto Rico. Seaman Jasmine Brandon Lowe, Ceremonial Honor Guard, Alexandria, Virginia. Seaman Jose Flores, Station San Juan, Puerto Rico. Seaman Apprentice Logan McKinney, Coast Guard Cutter Valiant, Mayport, Florida. His certificate is being presented by his uncle, Christopher Accord, Chief Hospital Corpsman, United States Navy, retired. Seaman Josh Heald, Coast Guard Cutter Sycamore, Cordova, Alaska. Seaman Jacob Ellis, Coast Guard Cutter Saginaw, Mobile, Alabama. Seaman Apprentice Justin Ortiz, Coast Guard Cutter Hawksbill, Monterey, California. Seaman Liam Roothouse, Coast Guard Cutter Chandelier, Valdez, Alaska. His certificate is being presented by his father, Staff Sergeant Jeremy Roothouse, United States Marine Corps. Seaman Apprentice Justin Carnival, stationed Tybee Island, Georgia. His certificate is being presented by his brother, Operations Specialist 3rd Class Kyle Carnival, United States Coast Guard. Seaman Cole Bond, stationed Alexandria Bay, New York. Seaman Carter Evans, Coast Guard Cutter Mackinac, Sheboygan, Michigan. His certificate being presented by his cousin, Bosun May First Class Timothy Jones, United States Coast Guard. Seaman William Churchill, Coast Guard Cutter Polar Star, Seattle, Washington. Fireman Apprentice Muller Arteta, Coast Guard Cutter Tahoma, Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Seaman Matthew Prigg, Coast Guard Yard, Baltimore, Maryland. Seaman Evan Schumoller, Ceremonial Honor Guard, Alexandria, Virginia. The last 9 graduates to receive their graduation certificates are individual award winners. These graduates will be recognized for their outstanding performance in recruit training as they are congratulated by Jeff Rigg of the Coast Guard Chief Petty Officer Association, John Schubert of the Coast Guard Combat Veterans Association, John Burns of the Coast Guard Auxiliary, and Leo Collins of the United States Marine Corps League Dramas Detachment. Sponsored by the City of Cape May, a Company Commander Challenge coin was presented to the graduate who has shown the most improvement in all areas of physical fitness. The most improved physical fitness award winner for Juliet 196 is Seaman Apprentice Mark Johnson, Coast Guard Cutter Mustang, Stewart, Alaska. His certificate is being presented by his father, Engineer Steve Johnson, and Angelo Fire Department. The graduate has shown the highest level of physical fitness during training, received her certificate and wristwatch, given in memory of Jack Campbell, former president of the Coast Guard Combat Veterans Association and gunner's mate during D-Day. The physical fitness award winner for Juliet 196 is Seaman Prince Marley Jones, Coast Guard Cutter Dauntless, Pensacola, Florida. A certificate and challenge coin was presented on behalf of the United States Marine Corps League to the graduate who has demonstrated the highest level of proficiency in the executing manual of arms. The Manual of Arms Award winner for Juliet 196 is Seaman Colton Beveridge, Asian Navigation Team, Buffalo, New York. On behalf of the Cape May Chiefs Association, a certificate and challenge coin was presented to the recruits selected by the company commanders who demonstrated the greatest leadership influence during training. The Leadership Award winner for Juliet 196 is Seaman Merrill McGowan, Sector North Bend, Oregon. A A certificate and marlinspike knife was presented on behalf of the Coast Guard Auxiliary to the graduate who achieved the highest overall average during the seamanship phase of training. The Seamanship Award winner for Juliet 196 is Seaman Apprentice Dylan Lambert, stationed Fort Myers Beach, Florida. His certificate is being presented by his mentor, Wayne McCormick, Chief of Police, Avalon Police Department. The graduate who best supported the regimental training plan received her certificate and enlisted Memorial Foundation Challenge coin, given in memory of Lieutenant Commander Charlie Gow, a policy writer, author, and 1979 graduate of Coast Guard Basic Training, who dedicated his entire professional career to the enlisted workforce. The company Yeoman Award winner for Juliet 196 is Seaman Apprentice Christopher Wagner, Coast Guard Cutter Mackinac, Sheboygan, Michigan. His certificate is being presented by his father, Detective Carl Wagner, Stone County Sheriff's Office. Given on behalf of the Fleet Reserve Association, a certificate is presented to the graduate who had the highest overall academic average. The academic award winner for Juliet 196 is Fireman Justin Warling, Training Center, Cape May, New Jersey. The Best Shipmate Award was presented on behalf of the Coast Guard Enlist Association to the person selected by the members of their company who has been the most helpful during training. The Best Shipmate Award winner for Juliet 196 is Seaman Mason Browder, Coast Guard Cutter Dependable, Virginia. On behalf of the Navy League, a plaque was presented to the graduates who has the highest final overall standing. This graduate has earned the title of Honor Graduate and is authorized to wear the Coast Guard Honor Graduate ribbon. The Honor Graduate and Award winner for Juliet 196 is Fireman Catherine White, stationed Unclawed River, Winchester Bay, Florida.
Ladies and gentlemen, those are the graduates of Juliet 196. The band will begin playing the Coast Guard service song, Semper Paratus, which means always ready. We invite all guests to remain standing and sing along with the graduates of Juliet 196. Graduates, this is your final muster as Juliet Company. When you are dismissed, your company will be disbanded forever. You'll become working members of the Coast Guard family assigned around the world. You've been trained and challenged by the best the service has to offer. Your training has taught you that the Coast Guard's 3 core values of honor, respect, and devotion to duty should guide your performance, conduct, and decisions every minute of every day. We wish you great success and hope your lives and careers are blessed with fair winds and following seas. Post the company guidon. Chief Orlowitz, disband the graduating company.
Aye, Commander Young. How many commands?